Sigma males don't shout, they don't brag, and they don't chase. Yet somehow they always seem 2 steps ahead of everyone else. What most people miss is that Sigma intelligence doesn't come from flashy moves. It comes from quiet strategies no one sees coming. In this video, we're breaking down the hidden ways Sigma males outsmart people without ever needing to compete loudly. Stick around until the end because the last point reveals the one Sigma strategy that leaves manipulators completely powerless. Before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button to Ultrawise. This is where we break down the truths and psychology of the Sigma mindset that most people are afraid to talk about. They outsmart by observing first. One of the most underestimated strengths of Sigma males is their ability to sit back and observe before making a single move. In a world where most people rush to speak, react, or prove themselves, Sigmas do the opposite. They understand that when you stay quiet and watch, people reveal far more than they realize. Words, body language, tone, and even the smallest inconsistencies all expose the truth, and Sigmas notice them all. This patience gives them a hidden advantage. While others are busy trying to dominate the conversation or gain attention, the Sigma is silently collecting data. They study patterns, test reactions, and analyze motives without needing to ask direct questions. To most people, silence feels passive. But for a Sigma, silence is active. It's the tool that allows them to read the room, understand who's genuine, and identify who's playing game. For example, in social settings, they don't rush to impress or fit in. Instead, they watch how people treat others when no one is paying attention. They notice if someone's words don't align with their actions. They catch the subtle shifts in tone when a topic comes up that makes someone uncomfortable. This isn't just intuition. It's the skill of observation sharpened over time. And when the Sigma finally does act, it shocks people. Because they've been watching quietly, they know exactly where to strike, what to say, and what to avoid. This makes their decisions look effortless, when in reality, they've simply taken the time to gather more information than anyone else. What others mistake for passivity is actually one of the Sigma males' most powerful weapons. Their ability to observe without being noticed allows them to outsmart manipulators, avoid traps, and position themselves miles ahead while everyone else is still talking. In short, the Sigma's silence isn't emptiness, it's strategy. They stay unpredictable. If there's one thing that makes Sigma males nearly impossible to control, it's their unpredictability. Unlike most people who fall into predictable routines and repeat the same responses, Sigmas intentionally break the pattern. They don't let others fully figure them out, and that unpredictability keeps everyone guessing. Most people like stability in how others act. They assume if you respond one way today, you'll respond the same tomorrow. But Sigma males rarely give people that comfort. One day they might engage deeply, the next they might withdraw into silence. At work, they might speak very little during meetings, only to later present an idea that no one saw coming. In relationships, they might shower attention when it matters, but vanish the moment they sense manipulation. This refusal to be pinned down unsettles people who crave control. Their unpredictability isn't chaos, it's strategy. By avoiding consistent patterns, Sigmas protect themselves from being exploited. Manipulators can't predict their reactions, fake friends can't plan around their moves, even rivals struggle to compete, because the Sigma's silence today might turn into action tomorrow. They don't telegraph their next step, and that's exactly what makes them powerful. Think of it this way: predictability breeds vulnerability. If people always know how you'll react, they can prepare, manipulate, or take advantage. But when you're unpredictable, no one can anticipate your moves. That's why Sigmas often shock people by succeeding in ways no one expected. While others broadcast their goals and routines, Sigmas keep their strategies hidden until results appear. This unpredictability also adds to their aura of mystery. It creates curiosity, even fear, because people can't decide if the Sigma is 2 steps ahead or simply refusing to play by the usual rules. And the truth is, it's usually both. By staying unpredictable, Sigma males maintain control, turn silence into a weapon, and ensure that no one ever holds the upper hand over them. They detach from control games. One of the most underestimated powers of Sigma males is their ability to detach completely and without warning. Most people get caught in manipulation because they crave connection, approval, or control. Manipulators know this. They use guilt, pressure, or emotional bait to pull others into their games. But Sigmas? They refuse to play from the start. Detachment is their shield, and it makes them nearly impossible to control. Think about how most arguments or manipulations work. Someone tries to provoke you, and you feel the need to defend yourself. You explain, justify, argue, or fight back, and in doing so, you're already trapped in their game. The manipulator feeds on your reaction. They twist your words, use your emotions against you, and slowly gain the upper hand. But when a Sigma is faced with the same situation, their response is silence, distance, or complete emotional withdrawal. Suddenly, the manipulator has nothing to work with. This refusal to engage confuses people. A boss who thrives on intimidation finds no reaction. A partner trying to guilt-trip a Sigma discovers their cold calmness doesn't budge. A fake friend fishing for validation realizes the Sigma won't give them the energy they crave. Detachment turns the tables instantly because when you stop reacting, you stop being controlled. The beauty of Sigma detachment is that it isn't fueled by fear or weakness. It's powered by strength. It's the ability to say, I won't give you access to my emotions. I won't play by your rules. And I won't let you dictate how I feel. That kind of emotional sovereignty shocks people who are used to controlling others. In the end, manipulators lose their grip not because the Sigma fights back, but because there's simply nothing to grab onto. By detaching, Sigmas protect their energy, their peace, and their freedom, and that's why, when it comes to control games, they always win by refusing to even step onto the board. They outsmart with patience. One of the most underrated weapons of a Sigma male is his patience. While most people rush to act, to respond, or to prove themselves, Sigmas step back and let time do the heavy lifting. They understand something most people don't. Truth reveals itself if you wait long enough. Manipulators slip up. Pretenders expose their cracks, and fake intentions eventually surface. By resisting the urge to rush, Sigmas always gain the upper hand. Think about how the world operates today. Everyone is obsessed with speed, fast replies, instant reactions, quick decisions, but in that rush, people make mistakes. They reveal too much, they show their hand, or they lock themselves into choices they can't undo. A Sigma, on the other hand, is never in a hurry. He observes silently, takes notes mentally, and waits. He knows that most people sabotage themselves simply because they can't stand silence or delayed responses. This patience also plays out in relationships and social dynamics. Where others might argue in the heat of the moment, Sigmas hold back. They don't react impulsively. They allow the other person's true character to unfold. Over time, dishonesty, manipulation, or disloyalty becomes obvious without the Sigma having to lift a finger. And when they do act, their timing is so precise that it feels like a calculated strike rather than an emotional outburst. In business or personal goals, this same patience becomes strategy. While others chase shortcuts or immediate gratification, Sigma males play the long game. They're willing to wait, to build slowly, and to invest their energy wisely. And when results come, they're not just good, they're lasting because they weren't rushed. What unnerves people is that patience gives Sigmas an almost unfair advantage. While everyone else burns energy reacting too quickly, Sigmas stay calm, detached, and observant. Then, when the moment is right, they move with precision, and by then, everyone else is already worn out. Patience isn't passive for them, it's power, and it's one of the biggest reasons why Sigma males often outsmart everyone without even trying. They use knowledge as leverage. One of the most underestimated traits of Sigma males is the way they collect knowledge. Unlike people who flex loudly about what they know, Sigmas play the long game. They gather information quietly, observing, listening, and studying without drawing attention to themselves. What makes this powerful is that no one expects it. People assume silence means passivity, but in reality, it's storage. Every detail, every inconsistency, every piece of knowledge is mentally filed away, and when the moment comes, Sigmas use that knowledge like a weapon. Think about how most people operate. They rush to show what they know. They spill secrets, reveal their strategies, or brag about information just to gain quick recognition. But that also exposes them. It tells everyone exactly what they're thinking and where they're heading. Sigmas, on the other hand, keep their cards hidden. They let people underestimate them, and that underestimation becomes leverage. When conflict arises, Signals don't need to argue. They already have the information that proves their point. In negotiations, their silence creates tension, but when they finally speak, they reveal insights no one else saw coming. In relationships, their ability to remember subtle details exposes dishonesty or hidden motives. And in everyday interactions, their knowledge gives them an edge that feels almost unfair to others. Subtlety. This isn't about manipulation, it's about awareness. Sigmas understand that knowledge is power only when it's used at the right time. That's why they don't flaunt it. They wait. They let others reveal too much while they reveal almost nothing. And when they finally use what they know, the impact is shocking because no one expected them to have been paying such close attention all along. The truth is, knowledge in the hands of a Sigma isn't loud. It's precise. They don't waste it for attention, they apply it with accuracy. And that's why people often walk away from an encounter with a Sigma feeling exposed, outsmarted, or defeated without ever understanding how it happened. The Sigma says, "Echt voilà." They walk away before the trap closes. Most people stay too long in situations that drain them. They cling to relationships that have already ended, jobs that suffocate them, or friendships that turned fake long ago. Why? Because they crave closure, they fear loneliness, or they hope things will change. Sigma males don't operate this way. One of their sharpest strategies is knowing when to walk away, and they do it before the trap closes around them. A Sigma's mindset is built on observation and intuition. They don't just see what's happening in the moment. They sense where things are headed. If a relationship starts showing signs of manipulation, they pick up on the red flags long before others do. If a workplace feels toxic, they notice the subtle power plays and politics that will eventually suffocate them. Instead of waiting for things to get unbearable, they step out while they still have the power to choose. This timing is what shocks people most, because they're gone before anyone realizes how close the trap really was. For a Sigma, walking away isn't weakness, it's strategy. They know that staying too long means losing leverage. The longer you argue with manipulators, the more energy you waste. The longer you hold on to dead relationships, the more control you hand over. By leaving early, they avoid the emotional, mental, and sometimes even financial cost of being trapped. And this sudden exit leaves others stunned. Fake friends don't get the chance to play their games. Toxic bosses don't get to corner them. Manipulators don't get to celebrate a victory. This ability to walk away before the trap closes is what makes Sigmas dangerous to people who try to control them. Others expect drama, confrontation, or negotiation, but Sigmas simply vanish. They remove their energy so quickly and decisively that those left behind feel powerless. And while they may be called cold for doing it, the reality is simple. They would rather protect their freedom than fight battles designed to cage them. They win by thriving alone. The ultimate Sigma move isn't about confrontation, revenge, or even proving a point. It's about showing, without a word, that they don't need anyone's approval, validation, or constant attention to succeed. While most people build their identity around group acceptance, a Sigma builds theirs on independence, and that's what makes them untouchable. Think about it. The world runs on external validation. People chase likes, titles, applause, and social approval as if their entire worth depends on it. But a Sigma flips that script completely. They thrive in solitude, building strength, focus, and discipline without needing a crowd to cheer them on. This alone unsettles others because it breaks the rules of the social game. If you can't control someone with attention, guilt, or praise, then you can't control them at all. That's why thriving alone is the Sigma's quiet rebellion and their greatest victory. When a Sigma walks away, they don't collapse in loneliness or regret. They use that solitude to create, to sharpen their vision, and to grow stronger than ever. Fake friends expect them to come crawling back. Manipulators expect them to react with anger or pleas for closure, but instead, they return months or years later to find the Sigma thriving, successful, and entirely unbothered. That transformation alone is the revenge, not through words, but through undeniable results. This independence doesn't mean they hate people. It means they've mastered the one thing most never do: self-sufficiency. They don't need someone to define their worth because their worth comes from within. They don't rely on shallow validation because their achievements speak for themselves. And they don't crumble in solitude because solitude is where they discover their truest power. The brutal truth is this: Sigma males win by not playing the game at all. They prove that real strength isn't in chasing applause, but in building a life so solid, so independent, that no betrayal, no rejection, and no silence can shake it. Thriving alone isn't loneliness, it's liberation. And it's the Sigma's final, unbeatable move. At the end of the day, Sigma males don't win by chasing, proving, or begging. They win by thriving in silence, by mastering themselves, and by building a life that no one else can take credit for or control. That's why people are shocked, even intimidated, when they realize a Sigma doesn't need their approval to succeed. And now, I want to hear from you. Do you think thriving alone is the ultimate form of strength, or do you believe true power still comes from connection and support? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every one of them. If this video resonated with you, make sure you hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and share with someone who needs to hear the truth about Sigma males. And remember, in a world full of noise, the most powerful move you can make is to thrive in silence.